Beer here, back in the fantasy bar. 6 of my favorite plays for Wednesday in the NBA. We're going to hammer home in the mid-range. I'm going to give you my favorite value play on the night. And what guy am I anchoring all my lineups with? Belly up to the fantasy bar and find out. Welcome back to the fantasy bar, guys. Beer's Daily Fantasy Six-Pack rolls on. 6 more plays for you fresh off the tap. Talking NBA, talking FanDuel and Draftkings. Like I said, in the open, we're going to give you some mid-range plays. Try to make life easy on you. Get your value play. And, of course, that beast of the night. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Guys, do me a favor before we get into the plays. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on YouTube. That's the tip jar here. It tells me you're having a good time in the fantasy bar and you're enjoying the videos. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Lots of great content coming out here. I got videos coming out about 4 days a week. So make sure you get notified when the videos are going live and hit that subscribe button on YouTube as well. All right, let's get into it today. Looks like a fun slate of games. Let's start in Philadelphia with small forward, power forward Tobias Harris against Washington. So this is one of those pricing type things I love to get into. A big discrepancy on prices. You look at Draftkings, Tobias Harris all the way up to 8,600. I think what's going to happen there, people are going to be hands off. So you're going to get him very low owned at that price. I always talk about paying more than most people want to pay. And I think you can do that on DK with Tobias Harris. Now over on FanDuel, way too cheap at 6,900. No, I don't care what the ownership looks like here on Tobias Harris. He's a guy I want to force into my lineups here at that discounted price. So playable on both sites for different reasons, but let's get into the numbers here for Harris. Been very good since the return here, over 40 fantasy points in both games. Been very good against Washington as well, over 42 fantasy points per game average in a couple games against the Wizards earlier this season, and Philadelphia projected for over 120 points, which is almost 11 more points than their season average. That is a massive jump here. They're going to be able to do whatever they want in this game. Tobias Harris is going to be a guy I put in a lot of my lineups here to lead us off against the Washington Wizards. All right, point guard, shooting guard up next for us with Marcus Smart of the Celtics. So no Kemba Walker here tonight for the Boston Celtics. We know they've been limiting his minutes, going to give him the night off here, and I think that's good things for Marcus Smart. Averages over a fantasy point per minute with Kemba Walker off the floor. We know he's going to play 30, 35 minutes. So simple math says he's going to easily make hay on this salary, and there is some room for some upside as well in tournaments. But nice usage bump as you'd expect with Kemba off the floor, and this guy is just a guy that can get it done in so many different categories, so many different ways. If he's scoring, it's almost a bonus, and adding to the rebounds, the assists, the steals, the blocks. So FanDuel under 6K is where I really like him. We know you get extra points over there for those steals and blocks, and even 6,500 on DraftKings, something I'm going to want to pull the trigger on as well. So all in all, Marcus Smart, great mid-range value here in this matchup without Kemba Walker on the floor. Take advantage of it here tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. All right, let's stay at point guard here. We're going to go with Chris Paul of the Thunder. So really like the prices here on Chris Paul. Under 8K feels a little bit too cheap, especially that FanDuel price at 7,300. It's going to be a common theme you see here in the six-pack today, taking advantage of some of those FanDuel prices here, and we're going to do it again with Chris Paul. But if you watch the games, looks refreshed. And a lot of these guys got a nice little break there, a couple months off to recharge the batteries. A lot of these older guys could really use that time off, and you can see it. Chris Paul averaging over 38 DraftKings points per game since returning to the NBA bubble. And we know the other side, the Lakers, you want to get some LeBron, you want to get some Anthony Davis in your lineups. Chris Paul, the guy I want to run it back with on the Oklahoma City side. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another guy you can look at here, but Paul, in my opinion, too cheap here, especially on FanDuel. Take advantage, 7,300, a great price here against the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, let's stay at the guard position. Another point guard, shooting guard combo with Fred VanVLEET of the Raptors. You talk about a guy playing a ton of minutes here. This guy's averaging 41 minutes per game. And the old saying, minutes are money, absolutely true here with Fred VanVLEET in this matchup against Orlando. Generally a team I don't want to target a ton of guys against, but he's been very good in this matchup. No Jonathan Isaac on the wing to bother some of these wing players for the Raptors. Also good news, with 40 DraftKings points per game in 3 games against the Orlando Magic. So right there, we're almost hitting 5-6x what we're looking for. I think Fred VanVLEET, off topic here, but one of the most underrated players in all of basketball. This guy just continues to put up Amazing numbers. Looks like the same kind of arc that Pascal Siakam took, where he was kind of a nobody, then he was a somebody, a six man, and then blossomed into a star. I think we're getting the same thing here with Fred VanVLEET. So what does that have to do with daily fantasy? It means the ownership, never really there on Fred VanVLEET. So again, FanDuel seems a little bit underpriced at $7K, even DraftKings under $8,000 in this difficult matchup. I think the ownership will be low here. Let's take advantage of low ownership on a guy playing a ton of minutes, playing incredible basketball, Fred VanVLEET. I'm done with my man crush here. Point is, get him in those DFS lineups here for Wednesday. All right, let's get you some value at power forward and center eligible on DraftKings, Brandon Clarke of Memphis. Now, unfortunate, Jaren Jackson Jr. goes down with an injury. The guy was playing incredible basketball. You hate to see injuries happen, but we have to have a next man up mentality here, just like they do in the league. And that next man up to me is going to be Brandon Clarke. When you run the numbers on our Court IQ tool here at RotoGrinders, you're going to see him averaging 1.13 fantasy points per minute with Jackson off the floor. It's actually a higher number than what teammate John Morant has in that same sample size, and it makes sense. A big guy goes out, another big guy takes advantage of it, and Clarke has certainly done that when Jackson is not playing, and we have seen what this guy is capable of. He's put up a big game at these cheaper prices, so I think he has that in him. Going to be frustrating with Brandon Clarke night tonight as a rookie figuring out the league, but a guy under 5K with added opportunity here, added minutes, added usage, it all adds up to Brandon Clarke being a very, very solid play here tonight for us on Wednesday on both FanDuel and DraftKings. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for the Wednesday NBA slate. But before we do that, guys, as always, we're going to say thank you to you guys with our Beast of the Night contest. Absolutely free to play. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video and let me know fantasy points. Let's go with FanDuel tonight. For my Beast of the Night, the closest guess is going to win themselves a free week of Core Premium, which gives you access to MLB, NBA, NFL, PGA, everything under one umbrella. Or if you're already a loyal subscriber, hey, we'll send you a free RotoGrinders t-shirt just for being the closest guest. So let's take a look. My favorite play for Wednesday in the NBA, you know, Matt's the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We've saved you in some spots. We've hit the mid-range. Also, we can spend up here. I'm going to go to the center position. We're going to roll with Joel Embiid of Philadelphia, tonight's Beast of the Night. So absolute smash spot here for Joel Embiid. We know Washington, a team that really struggled with bigs all season long. You look at that roster, who is going to compete with Joel Embiid? It's certainly not going to be Thomas Bryant. 29th in defensive efficiency are the Wizards against centers, and he has absolutely owned this team. 2 games against Washington this season, averaging 23 points and 17 rebounds in those games. Has been very good since the return as well, averaging over 57 DraftKings points a game. We had an 80 burger in there, so we know the ceiling absolutely massive. 10-4 on DraftKings feels about right. I'm still paying that price. $9,500 on FanDuel feels way too cheap. Take advantage here. Absolutely love Joel Embiid. If there's one stud I'm spending up on, and we have the Lakers, guys, we have some other options. Joel Embiid, certainly that guy for me, making him easily my favorite play on the slate and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that wraps up for Wednesday here in the Fantasy Bar talking NBA. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, that comment section there for you. Joel Embiid fantasy points on FanDuel. Get your guests in the comment section here before the games lock as well. And also go over to Twitter, follow me at Beermakersfan. Love talking DFS over there with you guys as well. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut. Best of luck here tonight, guys. We'll be back with another baseball video for Friday's slate. We're going to clean up the bar a little bit tomorrow. You guys have been partying hard in here. We've been busy, and I greatly appreciate it, guys. Good luck, and we'll see you.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.